On a major victory for Judicial Watch, a U.S. district judge rules Hillary Clinton can be deposed over her emails. One America's John Hines sat down with the watchdog group's president, Tom Fitton, to learn more about the move. Take a look.
You have just had a significant victory, probably the most significant victory in many years, ruling from District Court Judge Royce Lamberth, ordering Hillary Clinton for a deposition on emails and Benghazi attack records. What's going on?
Well, this was the big Freedom of Information Act lawsuit that uncovered the Clinton email scandal back in 2014 and 15. And we had asked for records about the Benghazi attack and her talking points, and we got the runaround. And sure enough, the government finally had to admit in this case that there were these Clinton emails out there. So the court wants to know, was she using this email system to avoid FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act? Were they messing with the court, the State Department and Justice Department, trying to get this case shut down before we found out about the emails? And of course, the court also wants to know whether there are other emails to be found. So when he's granting us the right to question Mrs. Clinton in person, finally under oath, he wants those types of questions answered.
The inquiry regarding the information on Benghazi was what led to the revelation that Mrs. Clinton had a server which was not an official State Department server. Is that correct?
This is the most consequential non-governmental investigation in American history, our investigation into Benghazi. It uncovered the talking points created by the White House that caused the House of Representatives to create a select committee featuring Trey Gowdy. It exposed, ultimately, the Clinton email scandal. There's really nothing comparable in terms of the impact on the direction of the country in many respects.
So just to be clear, the judge ruled that Mrs. Clinton should be appearing in a court of, I assume this would happen in a court where you would have a deposition?
Oh, this would take place in an office.
An office.
And she would be deposed under oath by our Judicial Watch attorneys.
In person?
In person.
Not any written questions?
Right. We've gone through that, and the judge has found it not sufficient.
He did not like her answers that were written. Why did he feel those were inadequate?
Well, look, when you provide answers under oath in written format, you know, you can't get as much information as you would if someone was there. You were able to ask them about the documents, see if they refresh their recollection.
It's hard to do a follow-up.
And that's right. And the judge specifically said you can do follow-ups. And he did note that there were many areas where Mrs. Clinton couldn't recollect and couldn't remember certain information.
But that's not all. It's also pertaining to her Chief of Staff, Cheryl Mills, who I assume would also appear for an in-person deposition. Is that correct? That's
right. And she was deposed once, but we've learned a lot about what was going on with the Clinton emails since she was last deposed. And she was deposed in another case by Judicial Watch. So the court found that there was enough new information that would require her to come in and answer additional questions.
And also, you can subpoena Google. Why is that important?
Well, because there's information out there that one of Hillary Clinton's vendors, computer vendors, may have sent her all of her emails to a Google address. So as I said, the court's interested to know where other emails might be. So we thought it would be prudent, it looks like, for us to subpoena Google, see if there's anything we can find.
On a scale of 1 to 10 in terms, you've had a lot of victories, but on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of victories, what does this rate?
Well, it's significant because we had to overcome the objections of the federal government. Two government agencies were in court against us. Mrs. Clinton, who has quite able legal representation, and we had to persuade a federal judge. And he found there were extraordinary circumstances requiring Mrs. Clinton's deposition testimony here.
Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch, thank you for talking to One American News on this big day, big victory for Judicial Watch.
You're welcome.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.